everybody. So, there are 5 stages in an airship piracy boarding action. And we will start with the first stage. The first stage is spotting the enemy. Now this is what takes up most of our time, if we're honest, when we're on duty. And when we're off duty, well, the less said about what we get up to, the better. But when we're on duty, spotting for enemy aircraft, that is the priority. And we have various methodologies with which we can accomplish this. They vary from the old-fashioned, it still works, don't fix it, telescope, our comms array, listening in for enemy transmissions, picking up where you can hear people, where we can hear radio chatter and narrow in on a position. And we also have a small complement of light fighter craft. Our gyro here coming in with our pilot in tow. These are light, agile, fast craft that can be sent out from our main vessel, the main vessel Storm Petrel, and they can analyse the sky and see if we can find any enemy craft worth plundering. And once a craft is identified, once one is spotted, we move to stage 2 of the boarding action, this being the chase. As you can see, there is a merchant vessel over there. You can see it has been spotted. You can see at this point we will begin to give chase. Now, giving chase depends largely on 2 particular factors as to how urgent the chase needs to be. Have they spotted us? And do they know we're pirates? If they haven't spotted us, we can, within reason, take our leisurely time. We use the environment of the sky, cloud cover. On a good day, we can put the sun at our backs. It makes us very hard to see, and we can get as close as we can to the enemy. And if they have spotted us, we used to be a respectable whaling vessel. But unfortunately, times are hard, and I'm told the cost of living is quite high. I don't know if anyone else has noticed. So we had to find more lucrative methods. And piracy is very lucrative. So if they... but the fact that the ship used to be a whaling vessel means that we can use it to our advantage, sneak up on people before they've noticed exactly who we are. And once we've got close enough, or once the enemy has realised exactly who we are, then we start using our other methods. We have our gyro who gets in close, either with their personal weaponry, their bomb racks, or the heavy cannon that we can employ or attached to the gyro, which can start strafing the enemy and giving them a real harassing time. Our comms officer comes in very handy at this point as well. They will be contacting the enemy vessel and persuading them very nicely that if they just stop and hand over all their valuables, we don't have to get into any of the dirty business.
Please surrender.
And then if we get close enough to the vessel that we can start opening up the small arms, then I'm afraid to say that it can start getting very loud.
Bang, bang, bang.
I told you. Right, once we are close enough, the chase has been committed. This is when we move to stage 3, boarding. And now, boarding, if they are still at a bit of a range, if they are not too willing to get close to us, we can use some of our small gyro craft to make trips between our vessel and theirs, dropping off our members 1 or 2 at a time to start doing sabotage operations on the enemy vessel. We also, if we can get close enough to fire the harpoon cannon, bang! We can send the line into the enemy vessel, and then we can use that to swing across, where we can start doing close quarters operations such as trying to cut through their hull with our blast torches. When they light, they can be a bit temperamental. Very temperamental. Sometimes you've just got to take out a hammer and start really giving it a go. And there, of course, if the enemy has already seen sense and has already agreed to us coming aboard, then we can wheel out a nice old-fashioned gangplank and take a bit of a saunter, as it were. So, once we have boarded, we reach stage 4 of any raid. Close quarters fighting. Now, we like to avoid this stage. It's a lot easier for everyone involved if they come quietly and give us all of their valuables, and then we'll be politely on our way. But sometimes it does need to get a bit messy. That's, you know, the dirty part, and it's a very expensive part as well. Have you seen the cost of ammunition these days? Grenades don't come cheap. So our main element of these, because we are a lightly staffed crew, we want the element, really want to give the impression that you don't want to engage us in a fight. It's not in your best interest to do so. So we come heavily armed and very intimidating. You'll notice that for the most part our weapons are quite small, quite short. That's because in ship-to-ship combat, large weapons, you know, you can't really swing well in a small corridor. You get stuck in the ceiling, and then you just, you know, if you ever try to point a rifle around a corner, it takes you about 5 minutes to get the whole way round. So we like using short weapons that are much better in the confines of a ship. Now, once we have overpowered the ship, and of course, if the ship has already surrendered, then we don't have to deal with any of the fighting. But once we have taken the ship and it is ours, we move on to step 5 of any boarding action, accepting the surrender. Now, as I say, at any point in time, we can skip to step 5, basically anywhere from about step 2. And this is our personal preference. We like accepting the surrender as early as possible. To accept the surrender, once we are in charge of their vessel, our captain will usually accept a token that shows that the ship is now ours. Now, it might be the ship's flag, a personal weapon of the captain, or the ship's log, so we can start analysing it and understanding exactly what plunder they might be carrying. And once we are in charge of this ship, there are then, you know, there are then a few purposes that we can take the ships for. Sometimes it's just good old-fashioned loot and plunder, and we will take what we want and then ride off into the sunset and let them go about their way on their vessel. Sometimes what we actually want is the vessel itself, and we will attempt to man the craft and bring it into port to salvage or to sell off. Vessels can be quite lucrative. And sometimes, if we meet a particularly willing crew, a particularly dubious crew, sometimes we can invite them to the much more lucrative life of piracy. And then, well, one day the Navy of the Storm Petrel will blight these skies, and we will be very rich indeed. But then, ladies and gentlemen, that is the 5 stages of conducting an airship pirate raid. I hope that this has been very informative for you. I hope that our crew have done an excellent job at demonstrating to you exactly how we go about doing such a thing. And if you ever see the Storm Petrel in the skies, give up your valuables first, I assure you. It's the much easier way of going about things.